Okay, we're live, we're recording. I am so incredibly excited. We have the one and only Dr. Jason Wright, physical therapist, the owner of Wright Fit Physiotherapy and Fitness. He is one of our dearest friends. He is someone who we have personally worked with. He's been a student of ours in some of our courses. He is someone that we look to when it comes to this whole world of online fitness training. How do you manage it if you're not a physical therapist? Then how do you manage it if you are a physical therapist, if you have a degree? And we've got people from all different groups here. You might be watching this if you're in digital income school. You might be watching this if you're in Launch Code. You might be watching this if you're in my personal marketing and advertising mafia group. That's how important this is. Like, that's how important this training is. It crosses all these different spectrums, because not only are we talking about how you can market yourself, but how you can work digitally, how you can work remotely, and how you can have a new skill, which is what all this is about, is adding to your repertoire of core offers that you can put in front of people. And Jason is going to walk us through. It's been so cool to watch Jason go from feeling somewhat stuck in his business to, over the last 3 to 6 months, watching him just absolutely crush this online fitness thing, from challenges to actually doing sort of group fitness, to doing this cool virtual boot camp that he's doing right now with Dr. Dustin Howard, and all the way to doing high ticket sales. I mean, selling packages of $2,000 and above. He's even put out offers for like $7,500 or even higher. I can't remember what the highest one was. Maybe we'll talk about it. But yeah. Jason, thank you so much. I'm going to close my door because it just randomly popped open. Will you just give a brief intro? I know everyone who is on here, but for the recording, will you just give us a brief intro?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Dr. Jason Wright, as Will already said, the owner of Wright Fit Physiotherapy and Fitness, Wright Fit PT for short, and been a PT for about 4 years. I got a background in exercise science and exercise phys with bachelor's and master's degrees in that. Undergrad, personal trainer, and PT tech. And so I was used to both sides of things. And just recently, since July, I've started doing more training with clients and pivoting to basically marketing myself, branding myself as a trainer who also just happens to be a physical therapist. And so how that's been able to transform my trajectory of my business and my personal life, and how it's allowed the time struggle to be more manageable. And just really excited to be able to kind of share how I've been able to learn from a good friend, essentially, how this online fitness world works, and then just take it and run with it as a physical therapist.
Yeah, I love it. So I think the cool thing here is for all of you who are listening, Jason really just learned the online fitness side of this, right? So you'd understood fitness. And I would say so many of us, if you are a licensed physical therapist, occupational therapist, I'm not one to say that just because you have that title, like you have that license, that automatically qualifies you to be a great personal trainer or fitness trainer. I think we would both agree. I know we've talked about it a lot. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean that you are like the best at doing something. There are plenty of physical therapists, occupational therapists I would not refer people to for actual fitness training. If it were rehab, awesome. But so many of us have the skills to help people keep healthy. And that's what we're going to be able to show you, that using a platform like this, which is always, 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 for me at least, the number one thing that comes up is like, yeah, I would love to help people. WTF, how do I do, like, how do I technically set this up? How do I get paid for this? Like, how can I set this up? We got more and more people coming on. Ginger's on here. Ian's on here. I can't keep my door. Like, apparently there's a ghost just like walking in and out. We got so many people coming on. This is awesome. Thank you guys for being here. So I'm going to hand it over to Jason in just a second. But guys, what I want you to do is, if you have questions, the best thing, you know, Alex and I preach this all the time, the best thing you can do is to engage in this and be active. If you're taking notes, I got it. My notebook, it was right here. I got it. Oh, it's tucked behind here. I got my notebook. Take notes, right? And ask questions for Jason. This is an hour to an hour and a half of Jason's time that you get to sit and steal from him that other people don't get. And this is a guy who's done over $10,000 in the last 3 months of sales on online fitness training. Who here would like an extra 10K in their life over the next 3 months doing online fitness training from the comfort of your couch? Comment me if that's you. I'm going to see if I can figure out this ghost situation going on. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put my kettlebell there. There we go.
There you go.
That won't open. Cool. Everyone's saying me. Everyone's saying me. Everyone's saying me. Cool. If you're a pre-PT, I got news for you. This is possible for you. If you're a student PT, this is possible for you. If you are if you're a licensed clinician, this is possible for you too. So
Mhm.
Ethan, I'm going to hand it over to you. We got a packed house. We got at least 12 people on here. So guys, if you have questions along the way, bring them up to Jason. What I'm going to do is kind of interject, and I'm going to play the role of you guys of like, wait, hold on. I didn't understand that part. We'll slow Jason down if we need to, so speed up, but be ready, take notes. I'm super excited to hand this over to you, Jason.
Yeah, awesome. Well, again, thanks again for the opportunity to do this. I know it's been a little hectic, for a lot of people over the last month or so, and a lot of things have changed. I mean, my life's changed included. I was relying a lot on some pretty steady PRN work that has been taken away. Like there's just no need there because the volume's not there, and so everybody's scrambling, everybody's getting laid off. Full-time people are getting laid off or furloughed. PRN people are getting called off saying that, look, we don't need you for the foreseeable future. And so now what are you going to do? Like now what can I do for income? And we're all on that boat together. There's not any of us really that are immune to the situation right now. And so I think now more than ever, it's really important to be able to have these different options that you can offer. Fortunately, like praise the good Lord, like I had started this back in July. Like I had just started very end of July trying to figure out like, how can I start doing something more online as opposed to in person? Because in person, as I was pivoting to doing more personal training, it was just too much time. Like I was only one person and I was still working as a clinician. And so how could I still see clients on the side without just eating up all my mornings and all my nights to where I had no more time for myself? And so that was really stressful. Being able to coordinate with somebody who's in, I know specifically like in a launch code group, Shannon Parks. So we'd connected after the live event last year for Greg Todd's SSPT at the time live event in 2019. I don't even know what year it is. That's how bad this coronavirus is getting. But yeah, we had coordinated. We'd touch base. She told me about this program called Trainerize. I was familiar with True Coach, Train Heroic, some other things. I had very first started off doing like Excel spreadsheets, and I was just getting their private, like their email, and just sending it to each person individually. And I was like, well, this kind of sucks. It's taking a crap ton of time, but once it's sent, and we can just keep touch, over the phone or remotely, whatever. And then I thought, dude, you can create private Facebook groups, right? You can create a closed Facebook group and do it that way. And so there for a minute, I had about 5 or 6 private Facebook groups running with just me and that client, me and that client, me and that client, and trying to figure out like all weekend long what their next week's workouts were going to be, how I could schedule them to be, posted in their group that particular day, whatever days they were available to work out on. And then here's what I really regret doing. I really regret doing my own videos, trying to record myself doing all these workouts, like while in the process of bringing on this new client and trying to edit them, save them, upload them. I knew once it was done, like it'd be so good. But it was taking too much time. And so I was trying to figure out like, all right, what's the best way to do this to where it looks clean, it looks professional, but it doesn't always have to be me. Like, how can I pull from YouTube? How can I pull from some other database? Because I was just running short on time. I didn't have enough of it. And so, yeah, I messed around doing it that way. And then finally, like Shannon had shown me about Trainerize and kind of walked me through it on a Zoom call and showed me the ropes. And even still, like, I was like, I don't know if I really understand this because it makes sense in the moment. But then, like, I went to bed that night and I tried to mess around with it the next day. And I was like, this is complicated. Like, it's the easiest one I've seen, but it's still not easy. And so I started trying to work with a client that way. And it just kind of started to take off. Like I started like doing hybrid. So we go, hey, in person, we'll do this 2 days, and then we'll do a third workout through Trainerize. Okay, cool. But what I was doing, I was conditioning that client to working online because I knew something that they didn't know at the time. That was I was moving states. Like I was moving out of that state in a few months, and I wasn't quite ready from the jump to say, hey, yeah, we can work together for a month or two, and then I've got to move, because I was afraid of, well, they're not going to want to start working with me anyway. And so I helped this person. I did a great deal of service for them, really helped improve their life. And then along the way, I was trying to plan after the move by doing online. Like, it really kind of started out of necessity. I needed more time, and I need to be able to maintain this relationship while I'm gone. And so that's how it happened. Got them on like a recurring plan for, previous clients that I worked with in person. And the billing was all done through TrainerEyes. It was automated every month, and I could just upload their workout and it was auto delivered. And so that's really how it started. A lot of the false beliefs that I had, though, like I said, kind of in the intro, how can I help somebody if I'm not there? Like, how can I really help somebody if I'm not there? Because with my trained eye and my skill set, if I'm not right there to look at that hip angle, if I'm not right there to cue them just the right way, to where, let's be honest, let's be real here. It was me trying to create a dependent relationship. Like, I didn't want to say that to myself in the moment. I didn't really think that at the time. But now looking back, I was just creating dependency on this person, because the whole reason they all sign up was, hey, like, I just need this for a while, and then I need to try and figure out like how I can learn how to do this on my own after it's over with. Perfect. Like, that's our goal as PTs anyway, right? To not have to need us forever, to not have this problem forever. And so that's how I pitched it to them. I was like, look, let's get started with this for a few months, and then you can learn a lot of kind of the basic foundations for what I'm teaching you and why you're doing it this way. And then you can hope to start doing it on your own, because nobody wants to go into the gym feeling clueless. Like, nobody likes to go, like, even going to the gym, because they don't feel like they know what they're doing anyway. And that's why a lot of us end up getting patients, right? Is because they end up hurting themselves. So I had to really get over the fact of, I don't have to be there to help them. And how prudent and pertinent of a topic is that now? Because there's a lot of us scrambling and trying to figure out, like, how can I be a telehealth clinician? How can I deliver my skilled care remotely? And there's still even a lot of it. Like, I'm still kind of one of those people. I don't have enough reps under my belt yet to really feel like I'm good at doing it. But the majority of it is just giving them something that helps them feel like they've got structure, that they've got a plan, and they've got accountability. And that's universal, regardless of whether it's personal training, physical therapy, occupational therapy, whatever. And so that was another big false belief that I had, was just not being able to be there physically. And another one was that, I'm a skilled clinician. I'm licensed. I'm liable for everything my patients do outside of my purview. No, you're not. Like, it's this whole thing of, and I don't know if now's the time where you want to get into this, Will, but just like a quick overview to saying that we've all got.
Let's do this real quick, because we got some great questions. And guys, I'm gonna Pro plus Kinetics. Will you just comment your actual name so I can call you by your name? We're gonna get to your question. You got a great question. It's something we're gonna save to the end, because it could derail the flow of what we're doing. Kristen Schultz, what a commitment. She's actually running while listening to this. So Kristen, we're gonna answer your questions after we go through the presentation. Why it's so important that we go through the full thing real quick, though, is so everyone's on the same page. It doesn't distract people and people feel overwhelmed. So we're gonna get to it. Ben, it's Ben. Okay. Ben, thanks for hopping on. We'll get to it, Ben, after we get through the core of things, so people are all on the same page. But what are your guys' fears or like beliefs of like why you couldn't do online fitness training? I would love to know, because I think just hearing from you guys directly is really important. What are some of the things that have worried you, like, I'm not good at tech, or like, I need to be there in person? Some of the things that Jason's talked about. What else do you guys feel like would hold you back from doing online fitness training or doing this with people? So I think the first thing that we should say, so Shanahan says not qualified. Cindy says, I'd like to know more about liability and how you handled that. Insurance, biggest concern is liability. I knew I could, just didn't have the time to build it out. Now with COVID, now I have the time. Awesome. So first thing before we do is, I always like to tell people is, if you really are going to get super serious about this and you're really worried about it, we are not legal experts, and you should definitely consult with a healthcare lawyer. That is the very first. I always like to preface that. The reason is, you can talk with 25 different people, and 25 people will give you 25 different answers. What you're going to hear from Jason, I always like to pre-frame this, is what Jason's risk tolerance is, what his risk tolerance is. So I want you to understand that Jason's not a legal expert. Jason's not a lawyer. Jason's not going to have that, because it's always one of the biggest questions. And the true answer is, consult a legal consultant. So you want to go find a healthcare lawyer who can tell you the exact difference for you, right? And even if we brought on a healthcare lawyer, it might not be actually accurate to your exact situation. So I highly recommend that. What I tell people is go find your first few clients, make enough money to justify paying for a healthcare lawyer, and then do that. That's just my sort of recommendation. Again, not legal experts, so keep that in mind. So Jason, let's dive into that. Kind of how you've gone about, handling your risk tolerance of doing this.
Mm-hmm. So I think I had a lot of just accidental foresight when I created my business, because I had consulted with my healthcare lawyer in order to set up all my policies and procedures, my intake paperwork, my consent forms, all that kind of stuff. And even in my payment agreement, like it's all laid out there in terms of, physical therapy services, wellness services, all that kind of stuff. And so like we've got wellness provisions in a lot of our state practice acts. And fortunately, the 2 states that I'm licensed in, I've got wellness provisions. So I'm operating within the wellness provisions of my practice act. So consult with your lawyer, consult with your state practice act. A lot of it's really vague. Okay, so there's a lot of them that are really vague, and that's actually to your advantage.
Jason, do you remember what that cost you to meet with that lawyer and have all that? Just rough ballpark, under $1,000?
Yeah, I think to get all those forms filled out and completed for my practice were somewhere around like $250.
Okay, guys, get a client, which we're going to talk about in this. Use that. Go ahead and know that part of your first client is to pay for that meeting. Yep. To CYA, right? To cover your butt. That's how I always recommend. The worst thing that you can do is just not move forward out of sheer fear. I always tell people that. Like, you don't understand that you don't even make enough money for them to even want to come after you, because it is actually a loss of money for them to file a lawsuit with you. Not saying that you should heed my advice. I'm just saying this is what I would do. My risk tolerance is go find your first client who will pay you your first $500, $1,000. Use that money. Know that you're going to need to spend that on, if you don't have an LLC yet, an LLC, and then hire a lawyer. And that's where your first client money might go to. And that's part of operating a new business or service. And so I like to do that, because if you're making less than $1,000, and 1, the odds of anything happening are so low, but 2, if they were, it's actually a loss for someone to go after you, because you literally don't have anything to take. That would be, again, not a legal expert. Jason's not a legal expert. Those are just the things that I would just say as general principles of how I operate under risk tolerance. And so Jason, thank you. I think there's like, oh man, that might cost me like $7,000 to go do that.
No, it's actually really reasonable. And it's all about setting expectations. It's just like with any other patient. A lot of them don't know that I'm a physical therapist until it comes out later. So I'm not promoting myself as a physical therapist for their workouts. Like, I'm not saying that we're addressing there's nothing skilled about what I'm doing. And so therefore it's wellness, it's fitness. And in my situations, I'm not telling them, that there's anything that's something under a plan of care that should be covered, and sometimes, like, if it's one of those things where I've got somebody that's out of state, I'll say, hey, that sounds like you need to get something looked at do you have a local physical therapist or a clinic nearby that you know or trust or have already been to? If not, let me know, and I've got some network, like quite a network of people that I can reach out to and see if there's somebody that, you could go see about this.
So and a lot of times you're not going like, oh, based on what you're telling me, that sounds like degenerative disc disease. You should go see. That would be a bad example, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Don't try to, especially if you're not licensed in that state, just leave it up to a PT that's there. It's and a lot of times the risk on the client's part that they feel safe with is that, hey, you're not really going to try to hurt me anyway. More often than not, anybody that's gotten hurt, that's been one of my clients, has been because they were doing something else, cleaning out their garage. They were trying to pick up their kid the wrong way one day, and like something tweaked. And so I was like, hey, keep an eye on it for a few days. And if it seems like it's getting worse, like I'd go see your physical therapist. Okay. And I was like, and then it's just keep me in the loop, and then we'll figure out how to train around that when you're ready. fantastic. So, and they understand upfront, they are not getting physical therapy services. This is wellness and fitness, and they sign a consent form to that effect.
So Jason, real quick, because I think this will be a question for people, that consent form, did you build a custom one? Did you grab one from somewhere? Does it specifically state like, this is not, I understand this is not physical therapy services? How did you go
Yep.
about creating that?
Yeah, that was something that my healthcare attorney and I had built out doing this. Um, and there's several options online. A lot of the ones that I've looked at template wise by Googling and trying to figure it out, they were all pretty much the same. So yeah, it just, as long as you expressly state, and again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not familiar with your state, but the general consensus is, as long as there's a clear delineation with what they're getting and what your role is in providing that to them, then, and they sign that they understand that to that effect, then, really that's defensible. So
I think the big thing here, guys, is number one, if you're having any doubt or it's causing you to not move forward to work with someone, spend the $250 or whatever it costs to work with a healthcare lawyer and have them write a consent form for you, so you feel like you're totally safe, right? This all just comes down to risk tolerance. There's absolutely no guarantee that we've come across. It's like, you're good no matter what, right? There's always a risk with anything that we do. It's about risk tolerance. So with that in mind, so if you really want, maybe after this, what you guys could do is message Jason and see if he's kind enough to maybe send a screenshot of his consent form that he uses, or you can talk with him. He's going to talk about later too how he works with people doing this. But okay, so Jason, you've got your consent form. Let's go into, how'd you actually find your first clients to do this?
Yeah, kind of it fell into my lap, fortunately, from other PTs that were friends of mine. They had these patients who were done in the clinic, and either lifestyle or job requirements or personal hobbies and interest in exercise and how they injured themselves working out to begin with, they sent them to me and they said, hey, I've got this person, like, would you want to work with them if they needed a little bit more training than anything else? Yeah, absolutely. And so that's how things started in person. And then as I made the transition online, it all just came from really similar to what you guys teach in Launch Code. It came down to, where are the people that are looking for this kind of help, and how can I go to where they're at? It's not like I would just make a post, and even still this doesn't happen, where I just make a post about like, hey, here's some value that I can deliver in content, and that people are just beating down my inbox to work with me. That doesn't happen. In fact, I mean, there's a ton of people that want it and that need it, and they're just going to keep watching me post, and they're not going to say a damn thing. And that's okay. But once they do start to engage, once you do go where your people are at, once you've identified who your people are and where they like to spend their time online, and you go there to see what they're asking about, see what they're posting about, see what their questions are, and then you're able to directly engage with them and then have a conversation and a dialogue from there. That's how you get the rest of your clients. Like, that's how you get your online people, right? It's not from, saying like, hey, I'm going to make a post today about range of motion and scapular dyskinesia and how it's important to, really shut down the dominance of the upper trap in terms of the ratio with the lower trap. And shut up, man. Like, nobody cares about that. They're not going to engage in that.
To make my pec stand out? Like, is that what you're telling? Like, that's all I want. Yeah.
Is that going to make my wife think I'm sexy again?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's not. So, they're not comfortable posting on your content that you try to put out there about, hey, like, here's how many reps and sets you need to do with this mobility flow. Like, they're not going to, that's vulnerable for them, right? To feel like other people are going to think that they need help. But if they're already in a group, because trust me, I'm in these fitness groups, I'm in these workout groups, they're all posting these kinds of questions left, right, and center, because it's a shared space for that. It's a safe space for them. So you have to be able to know that and respect that that's their safe space, and they're posting what they're really concerned about. And so, hey, deliver value right there. Start commenting on replying to them. And if the conversation goes enough, like sometimes they'll slide in the DMs directly. Sometimes you gotta say, hey, like, it sounds like you've got a lot more questions. Like, I just wanted to message you and see if there was a way I could better do it here instead of just blowing up everybody in the group. Yeah, absolutely. So I've got this, this, and this. And then just have a conversation with them. And if it happens to be something that you feel confident that you can help with, then say, make them an offer.
Yeah. So we got a great question from Cindy, which just kind of piggybacks off this, Jason, which is, how did you get leads? Do you use ads? What's been the best way for you to continue to get clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've actually not. So I started running some ads when I was still doing it in person. And it was just a thing of just like, hey, I'm doing a fitness assessment or a weight loss assessment, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's normally this much money. It's discounted for this if you're interested. And had like, 25 people opt in within 4 days. Reached out to all 25 people, got them on the phone, engaged in conversations. Guys, like, I was on the phone on Saturday night at 9:30 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. Whenever I knew that I had time that they would agree to, I was calling these people. And then I moved, I shifted to online, and I still do some in person, but I can't right now. So, time to call an audible. So I'm actually just in the process of wanting to start running ads again. But in the meantime, it's been just from showing up consistently, establishing credibility as an authority, to where when people have a question or concern about fitness or getting back in shape or doing something for them on a custom basis, they know me already, right? Like, they reach out to me. It's not frequent, it's still been a matter of like, they'll trickle in like, 3 a week, 3 a month, whatever. And they're not all a good fit. They're not all ready, and that's fine. But at least I'm having a conversation in a way to where I realize that they want help. I try to help them out. And if that happens to lead to an offer, then I make an offer, and either they take it or they don't take it. But most of it's been organic. It's not been enough to really live off of doing it that way. But again, like you'd seen in the post, over the last few months, that's really picked up. I've made close to 12K doing online training only in the last 8 months, 7 months. And most of that's been within the last 3. And that's just been a result of me just constantly letting people know this is what I do, this is who I am. And some of them will, word of mouth or through reputation of already being familiar with me on my friends list, they reach out and then say, hey, this is a problem I can help you with. It's going to take this, this, and this. When are you ready to start? Make them an offer, and they take it, and we go.
I real quick with that, because I think I have an outside perspective here that is hopefully highlights this, that Jason, you can't go a week without knowing that Jason does online fitness training for people. You can't go usually 2 days without realizing, because of Jason's content. If you're a friend of Jason on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, by his content that he has something to offer for you. And I want to ask you guys who are on here. So Kristen Schultz, who's on here, who's building an incredible business. I know she does this all the time. Who else? I know Kristen does this. Every single one of you else who's on here, how many, like, the percentage of people between your friends, family, and close, like, people that you're in touch with, what percentage of them even know that you offer fitness, that you can offer online fitness? What percentage of your friends, family, like, they know that you have an offer that they could buy from you at any point? And how, like, so percentage wise, how many of those people do you think know that you even could offer that? How many of them even know that you could offer it for a friend or other family member? What I love about Jason is relentless and lets you know every single week that he has something to offer. So Brian has a great question. Jason, you may have missed this, but what's your approach to a cold lead in a group, LinkedIn, maybe somebody who's commented on a post? How do you just normally follow up with them?
Yeah. So when I see the post, like, I just comment directly there. Like, I legitimately just try to answer their question there. And generally, if I've done a good job answering their question, they might have another question, or somebody else will piggyback off of that and ask a question. And then that's when the ball can start to get rolling into, like, hey, I'm shooting you a private message right now. I hope that's okay. I try to friend request them first and still deliver in the thread. because they won't get the message if we're not friends. Like Facebook hides it. And so I add them, and then I try to send them. I'm like, hey, I just sent you a friend request. You know, I love talking about this kind of stuff with people. So, you know, if you got any more questions, let me know. And so sometimes they'll keep engaging, and then we'll take it to Messenger. And again, like, guys, this is all laid out in launch code. There was nothing that they laid out that I wasn't trying to figure out how to do anyway, because it works, right? Like, it works. It's not going to work every time though. There's a ton of times where, like, in order to really get to the root of what they're needing, what problem they want solved and why, there's a lot of them that'll ghost you when you start asking those deeper questions, because they don't want to have to think about it themselves, right? Like, they don't even know what their problem is. And now you're asking me to think about what my problem is. Like, why can't you just tell me how much it costs and what it is? Well, because if I do, then you won't buy it.
Which I think goes to a really key point here. So for everyone who's out here, you're going to learn this in digital income school. If you're in digital income school, if you're in my marketing and mafia group, you can go watch the LinkedIn videos and Instagram videos that I talk about this, that the very first thing that you need to do is you need to tap into what's called your power base, your friends and your family. Your friends, family, and people who are closest to you in your closest circles, and you need to go message every single one of them. I don't care if that's a phone call. I don't care if that's a text message. I don't care if that's an email. I don't care if that's Facebook message, Instagram message. You have to go tell them, hey, I'm going to start doing online fitness training. Do you or anyone you know, like, would you or anyone you know benefit from this? How many of you do that every week? How many of you have done that so far? You've literally messaged every single person that is in your inner circle. Just comment yes or no. I would love to know for you on here, because this is so important. So important. Your skill does not matter nearly as much as your ability to communicate with people that you have a skill to offer. No, right? I did this with a guy. I did this with one of our friends, Jeff Douglas, who, if Jeff will probably end up watching this. We were in Jamaica at a conference. And I'd said, Jeff, I need you to pick a random person in your phone and let me know if they're your friend. He goes, yeah. He's like, I haven't talked to her in a year. I said, here's what you need to do. You have to message her and go, hey, so-and-so, I know we haven't talked in a long time. I hope you're well. I just want to let you know, I'm actually going all in on my physical therapy business. And I'm just reaching out to people that I know and seeing if you or anyone you know would benefit from PT services. And here's what we do. Guess we didn't hear back from her for a week. Then she messaged a week later and goes, my mom works at a company that's looking for help for fitness stuff. Could you help? And you know what he felt when he texted her? Because I was sitting right next to him. He was like, is it okay to hit send? And I was like, do it. He hit it. You guys, if you don't have leads, you have to be asking people and telling people all the time that you can help them. I don't care if you feel bad about it. I don't care if you feel scared about it. Tough. Do you want the life that you want to have or not? Jason, does it feel comfortable still to just message people and say, hey, do you or anyone you know need help?
There's sometimes it takes everything I have just to open up my message like inbox and start creating a message to send somebody and actually hit send.
Have you died yet?
But what? Say what? Sorry, my internet's cutting out.
Have you died from it yet?
No, I'm still here. As far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know.
So that's the thing. Why I want to stop here is just for a second that we always get the question, how do you get clients? How do you get more customers? How do you do this? You're going to learn digital income school if you're not in there. As we're going to go through this, we have a whole section on how do you find clients. You need to ask your power base first. You need to start with your power base. If you don't feel comfortable, do it for free with one person. Use them as a testimonial. But you got to ask, and you got to go tell people that you are offering services. That is the number one reason why people do not have as much business as they want, is they don't go ask people. And they don't go tell people that they have something to offer. So if I'm speaking to you right now and that's hitting home, you need to go make the focus of your business not getting better at your skill. You need to go make the focus of your business right now telling more people that you have something to offer. And do they or someone they know need your help? That's the biggest thing. Okay. Jason, let's say they find a client. Does that make sense, guys? By the way, comment yes or no. Does that make sense? Just let me know yes or no if that makes sense. It's going to freak you out. I promise you, it's going to freak you out. But it's also a thing that's going to set you free from sitting there like, oh, I don't have I don't have what I want. Yes, you don't have what you want because of the actions that we have been taking.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a great analogy for this, and that's like, so look at the way you're advertised to every day, right? Every time you scroll down through your feed and you see these sponsored ads, every time you turn on your TV and you see these commercials for, say, like the Impossible Whopper, right, or something like that, like it's the first time you see it, you don't go jump at it, right? It's like, how many times do you have to see that ad before it hits you the right way at the right time to where it hits you right in the certain pain spot where you just, all right, I need this. So just by letting people know that you can help them, they're not going to be like, thank God, Jesus Almighty, like he finally reached out to me. I've been waiting for this my whole life. Like, you know, it's not The Bachelor. They're not just waiting for you to ask them to work with you. It's like, hey, okay, now I'm okay. I forgot that they do this. I know that they do this. I don't need them right now, I can't think of anybody right now, but okay, I remember that. And then a few days later, okay, yep, that's right. They still do this. I forgot about that. That's why with traditional in-network, why clinics are going to the same freaking doctor's offices every week for 10 years, because they still forget about them every week.
I love it. All right. Let's say that we've got someone, right? We've got a friend or family member. Maybe even it's for free, Jason. Maybe it's like, hey, I've never done it before, and you're like, I don't have any experience with this, and you're like, hey, let's do it for free for a month. I'll just show you what I can do. Let me get you set up. Or maybe it's someone who's like, yeah, I would love that, and I value what you do. We could do that for $100, $200 a month. We'll talk into pricing. I think right now, setting pricing is going to be. I'm going to have you explain in the beginning what your pricing was as you were starting out. But I just want people to see what it takes, like, to actually get someone onboarded. If they're like, yeah, I want to work with you and do that. So let's do that first, Jason. How did you set your initial pricing? What did you feel comfortable with? What do you think, knowing now, what did you start at? Where are you at now?
Yeah, I started free. In fact, you'll see, like, if you ever search through my profile, you'll see a testimonial by a good friend of mine named Steven. He looks like he's probably our third brother. It's, we were in grad school together. He was the one showing me like all this stuff when it was time to hook up like a 12-lead EKG stress test and all this kind of, like, I was like, what? I'm just getting off work. Like, what the hell? It's 8 o'clock at night. Why am I trying to learn all this stuff? But I need that master's degree, right? And then he got hired on at the gym I worked at because I got him the job. The manager quit. Now he's the manager. He's overseeing the personal training department. He's overseeing everything. And their personal training, like, set records. Like, it had never done as well as it had over a 3-month period than when he first started. So being able to have him reach out to me and say, hey man, like, I just need something for 60 days to get my butt back in gear. Like, I'm trying to eat right. I'm trying to do this kind of stuff. I'm worn out trying to think of what I need to do in the gym. I've done it for so many people over the years. Like, I just don't want to have to think about it. Okay, cool. And he's like, my knees are messed up. I'm starting to feel depressed. Like, it's messing with my marriage. Would you be interested in helping me? And he was like, no. He's like, no, man, I'll pay you like $50, whatever you want. I was like, dude, I'm not taking your money. I'm not taking your money, because it might this for him. Like, he's a good friend of mine. I don't have enough experience doing this yet. And so I did it for free. And the testimonial from like where he's at now to where he started, and there's pictures of us together, both a little chunky. All right. And then now, like, where we're both at, I didn't feel comfortable setting a price for him that I wasn't sure I could deliver on. And so a lot of what I'll tell people when I'm coaching people on how to do this themselves, like, don't set a price that you don't feel like you can comfortably ask for, because they'll smell it like blood in the water. Like, if you're not confident in your price, don't price it that way yet. And so I went from zero to, I went to like, hey, $50 for a month. And then I went to like, hey, $200 a month. And I went to, hey, $400 a month, $500 a month.
Yeah. What I want to ask everyone who's on here right now, what would you pay for? Now, I know a lot of you are online, or are really understanding and knowledgeable of fitness and exercise. What would you pay for a month for someone to write programming for you? Let's just throw it out there. What would you pay? right? I've got my own number. I'll share here in a second what I would pay for, what I have paid for in the past, to have someone just give me a program every single week of what to do in the gym, including when the gym shuts down and what to do outside when something like COVID happens. And this is really important, I think, that we address this. Like, what is it that you would be willing to pay? Because if you don't even value it, why would anyone else value it?
Yep.
Right? So Ben says $349 a month. I love it. I love it. Okay. So, right. So Ben might feel comfortable at $349, right? I mean, for me, I'd pay up to $1,000 a month for sure. Right? If I think about how much time I spend struggling in the gym, or what I would do, or not having a plan, or having worked out for 10 years and not gotten the result that I wanted, right? Again, it depends on where someone's at. So let's see, we got 400 a month from Cheryl, 300 plus. If it's less than that, I won't even talk. Cool. I love it. Most I ever paid was $97, but that was just one plan, not every month for me personally. Cool. I love it. Right? So you're going to look at that, right? So whatever your own belief is, how are you going to expect anyone to pay even close to that if you don't even believe in that? So for example, Cheryl, right now, Brian or Ben at $349, right? The idea of selling even higher, it's not going to happen if you only value it at that much, right? So you've got to come to an internal place of where you value it. Right now, if you don't value your skill, that is totally fine. Just price yourself accordingly to start out. You will hear Alex and I did so much work for free in the beginning to hone my skill, to get testimonials, and to get referrals. So if you're worried about it, do it for free to start. And one of the best ways to get leads is to do it for free. And then after a month, say, hey, did you like this? Do you want to keep going? Great. It's $97 a month. You feel confident at that? Next person that comes in, hey, it's $197 a month. Did they say yes or did they say no? Right? If they said yes, whoa, you just realized what your price barrier, your price like opportunity is. Okay, cool. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys, of how to start pricing? I know it's a scary question. I know most of us come from a place of being nervous to ask about money, but does that make sense? Yes or no? To price yourself that way and internally process what it's worth to you. Because if you don't value it, it is going to be so hard for your mouth and vocal cords to communicate that to someone else, the value of that you believe they should pay for it. So hopefully that makes sense for people. Okay, Jason, so let's say we're going to do it for free for a very first client, which I think is the smartest way to go. Do you mind walking us through setting someone up on this and how you've been able to use something like Trainerize?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So essentially what happens is we have the conversation, and then the way that I do it is I go ahead and I send them a link to pay. Whether that be through PayPal, I've got Kajabi. I invoice them through Kajabi. I send them the link before they have enough time to change their mind, right? Because you're engaged in the conversation. They're all hyped up saying, yes, like he can help me. Like, even if it's Venmo, your personal, like whatever, shoot them a link to pay you right then. And I let them know, so is it better not, all right, we'll get to that, Shanahan. We'll get to that, my man. I let them know, like, hey, so here's what's going to happen. Okay, great. We're going to get started on Monday. As soon as we get off this call, or as soon as we get off this chat or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and shoot you an invoice to pay in some intake paperwork. And so me personally, I send them my intake paperwork, whether they're starting with me PT or personal training, because I'm getting a full medical background. I'm getting their injury history. I'm getting all this kind of stuff. They're signing the consent form. They're understanding the payment agreement, all that kind of stuff. So they're signing that on the front end, and I'll let them know once I get that, I'll set up your account in Trainerize. I'll add you as a client, and then you'll get a link from Trainerize to go ahead and create your profile. Sound good? All right, sounds great. And then it happens because they know what to expect. It's not like, sweet, we're going to start on Monday. And all of a sudden they start getting emails like, hey, wait, I've got to pay this like right now. Wait, I've got to do this paperwork and now I've got to do that. Like, dude, what the crap? I'm just wanting a workout. If you don't set the expectation, like, you're probably going to be disappointed.
This is probably important to do even if it's for free too, right? So maybe we bypass the PayPal part. I think it's a great point. If someone wants to pay you, yeah, we definitely send them PayPal. But you don't need to have anything fancy. You don't need to have crazy sales pages. Literally ask for PayPal. Almost everyone has a PayPal link. If they don't, you can send them a YouTube video that's already out there. How do you create a PayPal account? And then you're going to send them a PayPal link and have them pay. So let's say we've collected payment. So obviously, guys, let's recap real quick. We need to have consent forms before we do this. So that's something really, reach out to Jason after this and see if he'd be willing to give you a screenshot, or Google where you can find consent forms, right? Something basic. And then the only other thing you would need up to this point so far is a PayPal link if someone is willing to pay you. That's it up to this point from what I've gathered.
Yep.
And your willingness to talk to people. So Jason, real quick, Kristen wants to know, what's the most per month someone has paid you for online training? We'll get to the second part of that question, which is what does the delivery look like later? We'll get to that after. But what's the most someone has paid you for online training per month?
For a month? Per month? $697.
$697 a month. Perfect. By the way, like, there are a lot of PTs I know that don't make that much a month. Well, they make more than that a month, but like doing fitness stuff that like don't do, like that's one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
$697 a month. And we'll talk later into like, again, Jason's got a whole program on how to do all this stuff that we'll talk about. We won't be able to answer every single question because we'll be here for like 4 hours because Jason's the man, he's an expert, but we'll go through it. So Shanahan says, is your goal to go higher? The answer is always?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. We're going to talk about this, guys. Like, so Shanahan, you asked about putting your price online or not, right? I'm curious to get Jason's opinion. I'll be honest with you. If you want to sell a commodity, put your price online. You want to sell a customized experience for someone, you need to have phone calls with people and set custom offers. Okay, Jason, let's get set up through this.
Yep. All right. So what happens is you take them on board and you create their account, and then you'll get a notification, get an email that says, hey, so-and-so has filled out their consultation form. And so in there, I've got questions like, what are your personal goals for this? What body parts do you want worked on? Like, what do you wish was improved upon, in terms of physically? Or is it not really a physical goal? You just want to be able to feel better. You just want to be able to exercise more consistently. Perfect. Like, all that is covered in the consult form. And then it'll say, what days of the week are you able to commit to working out? That lets me know, hey, what realistically can you commit to? I'm not going to create a 4-day-a-week program if all you feel like you want to commit to this is twice a week.
Do you deliver that through Trainerize itself, Jason, or through an email?
Now it's all in the consult form that's in Trainerize. So when you get the link to sign up and you join, it'll say.
Do you walking us through that? Can you do it on your computer?
Yeah, I think I can. I'll tell you what I can do. Yeah, let's share a screen. And what we can do is I'll enter you, if that's okay. Like, just enter you as a test client.
Yeah.
And then you could even swap back over to your screen and show like what the consultation form looks like.
Yeah.
And you don't have to fill it out, but you can at least see it.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah, Andrew says, that phrase solidified how I'm going about pricing on my site. I've been on the fence about it. This conversation helped a lot. Yeah, again, guys, you got to look at, so for example, your website. You really want to look at, first off, the biggest mistake I see people think is that people are going to go to your website and buy something from you. That's probably the biggest mistake I've seen on planet, unless you're running ads to your website, unless you are having tons of conversations with people ahead of time and then sending them to your website. I have come across maybe 5 people in my entire marketing life and career who actually have enough people going to their websites that justify having something there for sale all the time. 99% of people have to have conversations first.
Yep.
Ain't nobody going, guys, I have a decent personal brand and following. Ain't nobody going to my personal website and signing up and booking an appointment without talking to me first. It just doesn't happen. Like, people don't just fork over $97 a month, $127 a month. Your better option is to have them schedule a consult call with you. You realize on the phone call how severe of this is a problem for them. Your ability is not in your skill. It's your ability to solve the degree of problem it is for someone. For example, fitness to someone who has type 2 diabetes and is super out of shape and could lose their life. That is a massive problem that you are solving for someone. Someone like Jason, who's already ripped and jacked, and he's like, yeah, man, I just want to get my tricep and pop out even more, but it's like not that big of a deal. Jason's not gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna pay 10 grand to just get that little extra of my tricep popping out.
No, not at all. Hey, Will, real quick, because I've already got you in here as a prior client, what's an email address like for Healthy Funnel or something?
Let's do will@willboydmarketing.com.
Got it. All right, so you're going to get this invite. Perfect.
Cool.
What's going to happen, once you get that invitation, it'll send you directly to a link to set up your account.
Okay, got it. Clicking it. So it just came in my email, guys. It's telling me to set up a password, so I'll set up a password. Andrew, I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful. If that was helpful, just let me know. I just want you to have the best chance to increase your income as much as you can. But oh, it's Willie. Nice. Yeah. Willie boy. All right, put my phone number in. Here, guys, I'll actually show you my screen, what it looks like on my end as a user. So as a user, I just got this in an email from Jason. It just came in, said, set up your account. So I'm gonna click continue. So this is what your client will see on their end, right?
Yep.
So I'm male. I prefer miles and inches. I'm just gonna go pounds, right? I'll set my birthday. If you guys want my social security, just let me know too. I'll get it to you.
Credit
You can
card.
tell this was like European first because the date's first and then it's the month, right? So you guys will find out I'm 33. Let's see, 6, like 1 or 2. I'll go on the shorter side, and 185. I weighed myself yesterday. How active are you? I exercise probably 6 days a week, but I'm just gonna go with moderately active. What are your appearance? I want to have a ripped 6-pack. I want to have I want to be flexible. Self-esteem, sports performance, other fitness goals. Look like Jason. Do you exercise regularly? You currently exercise regularly. So you get it. Your people will go and answer these questions. I'm assuming, Jason, you get to see this on your end when after I submit it.
Yep.
So let's say right now I have free weights. I don't have access to the gym because I'm in COVID. I got some resistant bands. I've got a kettlebell. I'm available to work out every day. How frequently do you have time to exercise? 6 days a week.
Boom, done.
Cool.
All right, and so then what happens, it invites you to go to the app, so it have you download it if you don't already have it, and then you just log in from there, blah, blah, blah. So this is what it'll look like on your end, all right? So your clients can access it via desktop or mobile. The mobile app is pretty sweet. I've had nothing but great feedback from my clients. A lot of them kind of early on, they're like, oh, I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of this or that. It's because you didn't follow instructions, but it's okay. Can
you see from your end, Jason? Is that?
Yeah, I can see your.
Would it be okay if we look in on your end from the?
Yeah, let me hold on just a second. Let me make sure that I've got. There we go. Willie Boyd has filled out the consultation form. So I'm going to open up the training site.
By the way, Jason, what's the pricing plan for Trainerize for someone to use this?
Oh man, it depends. So you get a free 30-day trial. You don't have to enter any credit card info, payment info, nothing like that. And it's not going to auto bill you at the end of those 30 days. It's just going to warn you that, hey, your access to this for free is ending in 3 days, in 2 days. It's ending tomorrow. And so you got that option to then continue on as a paid member. I know, I think each of us as members, like we've got the access link where if you're interested or whatever, I could send you a referral code. You could do your free 30 days, and I'd only get a discount or a credit to my account if you decided to keep paying after that 30 days was up. But that's
how cool is that? Free for 30 days. How cool is that? You could do this free, and you didn't have to put in credit card information. Like, is that sweet or what? This is why I think it's so cool. I wanted Jason to come do this because if you think about it, you can test this on someone for free. Like, you don't even have to go invest in this, right? You don't have to invest. I'm sure if you pay more, there's probably more cool features you can get and all this stuff. But on the basic level, you can do this for free. Mm-hmm. Who here likes free? If you're watching this right now, if you're on here live, I know we still got at least 10 people on here. Are you cool with free? Like, think about that. For 30 days, you can use a software for free. By the way, most websites, you can't do that. You can't go use them for free for 30 days. You got to put in your billing for hosting, domains, all this kind of stuff, right? That's why this is so to me, it's so cool, right? And this is why you don't even want to pay to use something like this until someone is willing to work with you, which is awesome and beautiful. And you have the ability to just test this out. Go get a friend and be like, hey, can I just put you in the system so I can play around with it and test it out for 30 days? Go do that. Go learn. Go learn. Sure, says, heck yeah. And of course.
Do it for yourself. Create a program for yourself.
Perfect.
Get
All
to
right.
see both sides. All right. So what I did was I got the info here. So let me just refresh.
I get hyped, guys. Sorry, I get hyped. Like, there's so much
Yeah, me
opportunity
too.
there. Hope you guys feel like, has this been helpful so far? Just hearing Jason talk about this, has this been helpful for you guys to hear this? Please let us know for Jason if this has been helpful so far. What's something that you've learned? What's something that you've learned so far that maybe you didn't know, or you've gotten confidence on, or you feel more aware about? What is something that you've taken from this? Because I want you to know that even in today's world, there are opportunities. Do you know how many moms and dads are at home right now who had been going to the gym every single day who feel stuck because they're like people, there are people out there who they can't even operate without plans. And you're not even having to use your like crazy scientific brain. People will pay you for your actual ability to just give them a plan. That's it. Guys, do you realize that they sell calendars every day? Have you guys ever realized this? That the grocery store and Walmart sells calendars. Do you know what calendars are? You guys know what calendars are? Calendars are where someone just literally said, oh, the numbers of the year? Sure, I'll write them on a piece of paper and put squares around them. And people pay $15, $20 for that. Even during a crisis like this, think about it. People still go and buy notebooks and calendars. What is a notebook? It's literally somebody just took a piece of paper and drew straight lines. That's it. Like, do you realize that's it? And people pay for it. That is just a plan. All that is planned out lines. That's it. People will pay for this. So think about that. I get riled up. Sorry, guys. I get
Beautiful.
so much opportunity out there.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So what we can do from here is we can now share my screen if you want. And I can show you what I see now on my end. All right, let me get this to work.
Jason, as you're setting this up, will you just talk us a little bit about what you do for other PTs and clinicians who are like, dude, I want to learn how to do this, because you've got your own program as well. And I want people to know that if they're like, dude, I see a future in this, and I see a potential huge source of income for myself if I just have someone to help guide me through this, kind of how you help people with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was something that we'd start. So Shannon Parks and I had created this course for PTs to be able to use, like online stuff like that, for either a way to attract clients in their practice or as a way to continue a relationship with their former clients after, say, they've met their goals in their plan of care or whatever. So we started doing that. We ran a beta. Actually, we had 2 people go through it, and they've both done really well with it as adjuncts to their practices. One of them, I don't know, and she's probably okay with me doing it. She recorded a video testimonial for us, Kelly McCormick. So like, you know, things were tough, like running the practice. Like, you know, you get to the point where one patient cancels and you wonder if you can like get through the month. And so being able to go from that to the point where now it's just like, she has exploded. If you guys follow her, like, she's now just promoting all her online challenges, her monthly fitness groups and things like that. And like, to the point where hired a personal trainer to help run that for her. It's insane, like what's been able to happen in such a short period of time for her, and just how much she'd gotten back her investment, like triple within just like a few, you know, like had earned back her investment, she said, within like a 3-day period. So it was crazy. But yeah, we do this, and we'd actually considered kind of like shutting it down, because hey, I was wanting to do more of my in-person stuff and grow my practice that way. Shannon was wanting to do more with her programs and do things that way. And so we're like, look, we're only going to continue this with anyone else if they like really want to do this, you know, like if they reach out to us. Things have changed in the last few weeks for people. And so, in fact, I've not even talked to Shannon about this, but, you know, there might be a possibility, pretty likely, to where both of us will jump back into helping people with this course again. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, comment interest. You know, that'd be helpful for us to see, like, is it worth our time to be able to offer this for people who feel stuck right now with being able to generate some revenue with their practices, or on the side as a student or whatever. And if we're both not ready to do it, like, you know, I'll go solo, like we'll figure it out. We'll chat about it and get the details. But if that's something that's helpful, that's cool. We do that. We've done it before, might possibly do it again. Again, I want to run it by her before committing concretely to something, but I'd be willing to do it for sure. So let me go ahead and get this set up here.
More importantly, guys, if you're really interested and want to get serious about this, this is something that, like, obviously we can't, what Jason knows is far beyond a free training like this. He's absolutely amazing. He's been doing this for his own business. What I recommend is friend Jason on Facebook and shoot him a message, or on Instagram, and say, hey man, I really liked your presentation. I would love to learn more. Just start talking with Jason, go back and forth, and do that. So Andrew said he's interested. I know probably more of you are interested, but are like, the thought of like signing up for something scares me. Just reach out to Jason, friend him on Facebook, ask him some questions, and you guys can see if it's a fit.
Yeah, absolutely. So can everybody see my screen right now? I've got the chat kind of minimized. All right, well, you can see it.
Got it.
Sweet. So here's my desktop. Like, here's my dashboard when I log into Trainerize. Got my fancy little logo up here. Looks awesome. Got it on my shirt too, in case you have trouble identifying who I am.
Oh, I just wore mine the other day working out. I wish I had. I should have worn it. I didn't think.
I know, man. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. But so over here, I've got my recent activities. So what I did was I created a dummy account within Trainerize, just so that way I'm not blasting all my clients' details on here, who missed their workouts, who didn't. Maybe that's some accountability I should take into account and blast them that way, like, hey, do your workout. But I'm not going to. So I created this dummy account. So you see like a demo client that's over here, and all the information that you get with who's doing what they've done, what goals they've met if you've set those goals. And right here at the top, I've got Willie Boyd signed in for the first time. So I'm going to click on Willie Boyd here, and I've got his information. Up at the top, he filled out his consultation form. We just saw it. In here, I've got all the answers. So what are your fitness goals? Appearance, blah, blah, blah. What do you exercise regularly? So all that stuff he just filled out, I've got it here. All right. And then what we could do also, you can also upload attachments for them to be able to fill out. This is where you can have your consent form. This is where you can have any other pertinent information you need them to sign off on. If you don't have a delivery system like I use with Intake Q, you can do it directly through here and have them fill out all this stuff when they're onboarding and creating their account. That's a cool way to do it. Or if you want to use Google form, like a lot of times, like right now, this group challenge that Dustin and I are doing, it's through a Google form. It's got all the consent there. They acknowledge that they want to do it, sign off on it, boom, done. All right. So I see that there. Now, Willie Boyd doesn't have a program to follow. All right. Do we want to go down this hole right now and just kind of show like a real basic thing of what next?
Yeah, maybe just like three things, like 3 exercises or something, just to, so even, or even just showing one, like, hey, I want him to do squats on a certain day.
Yep.
Something.
All right. Perfect. So what I'm going to do, you got these things called master programs and master workouts. All right. I've got these things save my life over here. All right. So I've got all these programs that I've built out for clients, multiple pages. And so let's just say like, I want to create a new program for Willie Boyd. And I want to use like one of these workouts.
These are master, but these are ones that you've put together over time.
Yep. These are template workouts that I've saved into my account. So that way I'm not having to reinvent the wheel every time.
So if someone were to come in like me, who had pretty similar data, like, cool, Will did this plan, he got results, go back. And look, you must have spent what, 100 hours filming all these videos of yourself?
0. 0 hours, because they've got their own database. Like,
how nice is that, guys?
Yeah.
How nice is that? Like, seriously, if you're on here right now, like, is that nice? Comment nice if it's nice that you don't have to go through and film yourself doing cat to cow. You don't have to film yourself doing bear crawl. You don't have to film yourself doing elbow planks. Like, I know how to do fitness for people. If it's like, hey, do mobility for like your hip flexor, dear God, you don't want me to be the one doing the video of that. Like, most of my clients can do it way better than I can, because, like, I don't know if you've seen these hips, man, but they definitely don't lie. You aren't going anywhere with these hips. So you want somebody else who can actually demonstrate it properly. They're all, they're like 80% of movements I can do really, really well. But they're 20%. It's like, dude, if I have to video that and send it to somebody, they aren't going to get better. They're going to be like, oh, that's it. I just moved okay, all right. Be like, no, there's a whole nother range of motion that this guy doesn't have that you can go into. So we need the video. Okay, everyone's saying nice. Awesome.
Yeah. So, and if there's something that's not there, you can pull from YouTube. You can pull directly like a link that you have when you're adding a custom exercise to where it says, hey, this explains it better than what I found in the library. Or here's one that I like to do it this way that I didn't find in the library, but it's on YouTube, either because I've put it there There's somebody else that I always refer to as put it there. So you can just jack it right from YouTube directly into there, copy the link, it adds it, and it looks just like the rest of these videos. You can even type in your own instructions. So if you want to pull up a video, you want to see what it looks like, here's the instructions here.
Bear crawl.
You can tag it.
For this mobility and warm-up drill.
This guy awkwardly explains things, and it shows him do it.
God, I wish I had a gym set up like that right now. It's pretty amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it looks like. And over here, I've got it timed out. It's a timed interval workout for this person. So 60 seconds, they do it, then they rest for 30. It's timed for them. They don't have to like pull out their watch and figure out what the timer is. All right, it's already on there. And so I've got it.
What I think is really cool, Jason, is like you and all your experience being a PT, doing fitness for people in the past, like you could write general back pain programs for people left and right. Like you've got general things. Yes, well, there will be custom things, but you can go ahead and build some of these master templates out, which I think we should just, from my mind, you know, this is probably going to be some of the most upfront work, right? Is how long did it take you to build a master program? Just so people have context. Like, was it an hour, 2 hours to make a master program?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I've spent like an entire Sunday from like 11 a.m. to midnight building out a master program for a new person that had equipment that I'd never programmed for before, or access to a facility that I wasn't familiar with before. And so I built it all out. But here's the thing is like, I've used them multiple times over now. Like all I had to do was about 6 hours of work, 4 hours of work, 12 hours of work, depending on the complexity of it. And then it's done. And so I can use that for as long as I have my Trainerize account active and have clients.
Cool.
So that's kind of that. Like, and so over here, now we're going into master programs. So here's all the different programs I've set up for clients to where they have access to being able to do what they want to do. So like, for example, let's say we've got Alex Ingar on this program, but you can see the calendar of how it's built out. So I've scheduled these workouts on these days, okay? And it's, you know, weeks 1 through 6, weeks 5 through 10. You can create as much or as little work for them as you want. So for example, we went through that one workout. So let's do a new program. So we'll say the new program name is Willie Gets Ripped, okay? So it's got, it's going to have,
program. Yeah.
it's going to have like 2 phases. All right. Each phase is going to last 4 weeks at a time. Okay. And you can do it to where it automatically schedules progress photos and weigh-ins at the start and end of each training program. So I don't even have to like remind them, hey, like record some progress videos that you can upload into here. It's just for us to see. Or if you don't want to upload them, like keep them for yourself. Because sometimes you can visually see what you can't see any other objective way. All right. So you have them do it that way. I share it. I start building. Done. So phase 1 might be like, hey, we're going to do more of like a strength building component. And then like the last phase 2, the last 4 weeks is going to be more of like a shred component. All right. So we're that way, we're going to like really get the heart rate up, get a burning fat, all that kind of stuff. Now that you've got all this muscle tone built up underneath. So you can go in here, hit the plus sign. So I want to subscribe Willie Boyd to it. Done. Oh, I want it to start, let's say, I don't even know what day it is now. Was it like the 10th or the 9th? So we'll say it's going to start tomorrow. All right, so we'll just start the 13th. Start days, yeah, there's a start date there. All right, done. All right, so we got Willie Boyd there. So in this program where Willie Gets Ripped, we can go to the calendar, and I've already built out a couple days already. Okay, so it's already telling him, take progress photos, track body stats. You can send out an automated message. You know, you want to say like, hi, and it goes out at 7 a.m. tomorrow or on Monday.
That's
and you
so
go,
cool.
hi, and then you can custom first name. So excited for tomorrow. Let's go. Done. So that's going to go out at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Schedule it. Done. All right. Now, he needs a workout to do.
Yeah.
Right? So go to the training plan. And so you'd build out. That didn't really work the way I wanted it to. So you can go to the workout, all right, and say you can import from master programs. All right, so I've got my Willie Gets Ripped program. So go through there. All right, I don't have any workouts there. So what we'll do is we'll just pull from another workout. So I've already got a different thing going. Let's say he wants to do like a strengthen and shred thing. All right, piece of cake. So we'll do Pain Free Fit, which is another one of the programs I have going. So we'll just say he's going to do like the full body dynamic warm up. He's going to do day one, chest one. Cool. All right, so that's built to go in there. And I'm going to have it repeat. So he's going to do this like every, like Monday, Thursday, and Saturday until week 4 at the end of this first phase. So it's going to repeat every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Saturday until the first phase is up. Boom, done.
How cool is that? You don't have to write that out every single time. You don't even have to copy and paste from an Excel sheet every single time. I tell you what, Jason, I want to be respectful of your time because this is super helpful. And I know we could go into like a full in-depth, like how to use Trainerize. And truthfully, the key principle here, guys, is whatever program you use, principles are what matters, right? You want to be able to just leverage your time and use something like this. And I don't want Jason to have to sit here when I'm sure there are videos within Trainerize or YouTube that where you can get some more in-depth in Trainerize. Does Trainerize seem doable? I guess I would love to know. There are 8 of you on here. Does Trainerize seem doable? And if it's not Trainerize, Jason knows other platforms too. If maybe you're like, you don't jive with it, that's okay. Just want you to be able to see how he uses a tool to be able to manage all of this. And if you guys think about it, up to this point, right? We've got, all you need to do is talk to people, your friends, family, people that you're close to, have a PayPal link to be able to send to people, have a consent form, and be able to have a tool like this to manage people that are going in and send them workout plans. Does that seem doable? Like for those of you who are on here, Andrew's on here, Brian's on here, Cindy's on here, Jeremy's on here, Karen, Shanahan, Cheryl, does that seem doable? Like, I just want you guys to see that this is possible, that this is doable, this is possible, that you can do it, that this exact setup is what has allowed Jason to make over $10,000 in the last 3 months. Like, it's pretty amazing. Like, it's really, really, really amazing. And so, Jason, I want to be respectful of your time because you've got a lot going on. I want to make sure we get through a few questions. First, Kristen had a really good question. The second part of her question, I'm going to work my way back up, which was, Andrew says, I've been looking at doing this exact setup for a while. This helped me give a lot of direction. Yes, I love it. Cheryl, applying everything I learned after I finish finals next week. Yes, finish finals first. Go knock out your classwork, and then dive right into this. Reach out to Jason if you need to. Kristen had a great question. She said, Jason, what does delivery look like in terms of how often do you check in with people? Or like, what does your delivery include? Is it just the workouts? Do you do phone calls with people? Do you do like, you can text me anytime? What is usually like your personal contact with people? And is it more expensive to get that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If they want more from me, then that's gonna be a higher package. If it's one of the lower ticket offers that I have, and it's mainly just, look, I just want programming. I just want to be able to know what to do and when to do it and to make sure that I'm accountable to it. Perfect. And then they can still message me anytime through the app, anytime they want to. And I will get back to them within 24 hours.
Cool. I love it. What if someone just wants the plans? Would you do it, do less price?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Karen asked, do the exercises have to be one by one, or can I make a 30-minute video and make that accessible? So instead of watch each individual video, could she record a 30-minute like workout session, Karen? I'm guessing is what you're asking. Like, could she film her own workout session for 30 minutes and have people just go through that?
Yeah, you totally can. Like if there's not any part of that video that you need to track, progress or anything like that in terms of how much weight did they do, how many repetitions did they do, what kind of resistance did they have to use. If there's not a component like that that you are looking to track or have the app track for you, then yeah, by all means, like honestly, and I've joked about this, you could technically use delivery system. You can upload any video you want, and then they've got access to it, and you can schedule when they can look at it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, Karen, also you can pull from YouTube. So if you just upload the video to YouTube, put it in, you can do that as well. Again, really technical questions about Trainerize. Do some research into Trainerize, play around with it. I think more of those questions will be able to be answered once you go into it. You get a 30-day free trial, so just go in there and play around, see what you're able to do. Again,
Yeah, if you want to do the paid, it just depends on how many active clients you have, right? So it's tiered, and it's not like you're locked in. So if you have somebody dip below the threshold for the higher package, then now you can switch yourself to the lower package and not have to pay any extra fees.
Yeah, I love it. So we got a couple questions, specific ones. I'll tag these guys later. Kristen says, we already went through this. What do you differentiate between PT and coaching? So again, no skilled care with coaching, right? And you have them consent. This is not physical therapy. We talked about pricing. And then we got Kristen said best ways you found to deliver online. We did that. Okay, Ben says, Jason, they built a home 12-week home workout program through an online platform like Trainerize, and they just finalized it. With this program, we're offering an initial full body biomechanics assessment, which will allow us to tailor the workout program, weekly accountability checks, one virtual or in-person session during the week to discuss nutrition modifications needed with the program, stress management, et cetera. 25% off future PT sessions if needed, and priority scheduling. Now we're trying to figure out the best way to market it and sell it. Do we email blast it out? Do we call everyone and sell it? The cost will be $199 a month. Sorry, Will, it's been badgy. Okay, that was the last part. How would you help them? How would you recommend they go sell that, Jason? Contact their list, call people.
Do they want it?
That's a great point.
Is there demand for it? Have people said that they want that?
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't really matter what method you go about because it's not going to sell. Sounds amazing.
Yeah. So Ben, what I would recommend to give you a straight up answer with this is yes, email it out to your list, see if people take it, right? Normally I would say email that offer out first before you build it out. But since you've already built it out, blast it out there now. I would text as many people that it's an option. I would call as many people as you have to. I would email. I would start with your existing list. So your past patients, your current patients, put this out as an offer for them. If your current and past patients are not interested, there's a very high likelihood that people outside of that will not want it, right? Because they don't know us, trust us, and like us like our current and past patients. So, okay, just want to make sure we got this. Cindy asks, like to know more about liability. We handled that. Phil says, I tried to look on Trainerize's website, but couldn't find it. Jason, you didn't want to upload your own videos of exercises, but you can upload them into the Trainerize system. So looks like we can find the Trainerize website. So Phil, maybe we have to get you a proper link maybe. And then two, Jason, you can upload your own videos into Trainerize, correct?
Yeah, you can do it that way. You can go through YouTube, whatever.
Cool. And then Karen asks, Jason, are these mainly monthly subscriptions that you're selling?
No, I've got a few base clients that are kind of like a month to month recurring. But for the most part, it's like a 3-month minimum package. Because honestly, like just the way the body works, they're not going to see the real benefits unless they commit to a minimum of 3 months. And then we just kind of go from there. Like, hey, if you're along the path and you want to keep going, boom, let's renew for another 3 and do it that way. So, it really just depends on what they need and what they're looking for and what solution you have that best fits it.
I think one thing, Jason, too, for a lot of people is I think people tend to, I would love to ask you this. How is your interpretation or feelings on price of selling online training or training fitness compared to physical therapy? I remember how you used to feel about it.
No.
How do you view it now? Do you view it differently? Is one worth more than the other? Do you even look at them differently anymore?
They don't even exist separately in my eyes anymore.
Wait, you're telling me you have a PT degree and you would sell online training or fitness training as much as you would sell physical therapy?
Mm-hmm.
But Jason, you have a doctorate degree in one and you don't in the other. How is that possible?
It's the size of the problem that they have. It's not the size of my ego.
I think this is really important, right? Are there packages that you have sold for equally as much or very close or same, like for online training, fitness training, I'll just say, whether in person, online, for physical therapy?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I hope that gives you guys, that's why I want you to learn this stuff, right? Like you can learn, you're just solving a problem. So many of us are like, well, maybe training, I'll do a $97 a month thing. Guys, Jason sits down. Here's Jason. Well, Jason, I want you to explain this. First off, Shanahan says, do you offer payments for the plans or do they pay all at once?
Both, yes.
Okay, both yes. So I guess it just depends, Shanahan. He has the option for multiple payments if need be. Usually to pay by month would be the plan, right? Monthly?
Yeah.
Okay, so breaking it up into monthly payments. Jason, what has been your most effective sales process up to this point? Meaning, like, how do you start getting to know someone, and then how do you actually close them? Or like, yes, agree for them to pay you?
Yeah, it all starts with a conversation. Honestly, I tell myself before I go into it, don't try to sell them anything. And then the second thing is don't try to offer them anything that they didn't reach out for directly. So if they ask specifically about online training, I don't try to sell them in-person training, or I don't try to sell them online PT and telehealth because A, they don't know what the hell telehealth is anyway. Two, they don't know what PT is most of the time. So, but they understand fitness and they understand training. And if they don't have a problem that would limit them from being able to do it safely, then I'm going to offer them what they ask for. But it's coming from a conversation, knowing that by the end of it, I might not be able to work with this person. But through the conversation, you unravel, oh, wow, like that's okay. I totally see how that problem is affecting them. And I've helped people with that problem before. So here's what I did for these other people. Here's what I'd like to do for you too, if you're willing. How does that sound?
Love it.
And that it's the best sales that I make are all from having conversations. It's not from trying to sell them.
Yeah. Jason, you've had a website for 3 years.
Yes.
How many sales, or at least multiple years, how many people have just gone to your website and purchased something or reached out and said, I want to pay you from what I saw on your website?
0. I've not even had anybody download the free stuff unless they were other like students of mine that I've coached who were just like, hey, I want to see what your stuff looks like.
Did you guys hear
0.
that? Those of you who are sitting there tinkering on your website, did you hear that? This is a guy who posts every day. People can go to his website. His website's very visible. So Jason, you had to talk to every single one of them?
Yep.
Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? If you're on here, you have got to have conversations with people every sale. You just heard Jason. By the way, Jason, do you think if you didn't have those conversations that you could sell at the price that you sell at?
No, not at all. Not at all. I've had a client say that they've worked in sales for 20 years and that they didn't expect to say yes as quickly as they did, but it just made too much sense. After we had a conversation.
Jason, what do you feel like the difference between selling someone, I just think this blows people's minds because it would have blown my mind 4 years ago, 3 years ago. What's the difference between selling someone a $197 fitness package and a $1,097 fitness package?
Hold on, I want to make sure I understand the question.
So let's say it came to you, Jason, hey, I want to get some online programming from you. I want to do some online fitness training for 1 month.
Uh-huh.
What's the difference between you selling it to me for $197 or $1,097?
At that point, without any more information, there is no difference.
Well, let's say if you're gonna, what do you think is the difference between, I guess I'll put it this way. Is it the actual programming that's going to change the price for you?
No, I've delivered.
You're not adding in like 9 different secret things that you had to make it worth $1,097?
Nope.
So I guess my question is, what's the difference then?
It depends on the level of frustration of their current problem.
To me, so I was trying to set Jason up there that it's building trust and understanding through that conversation how important this matters to someone, right? Mm-hmm. If I were like, yeah, dude, nah, I only want to do this for like, I'm only just looking for somebody to kind of help me out. Yeah. Well, clearly it's not that big of a deal for me, right?
Yeah.
But if I came to Jason, I'm like, dude, my wife won't even look at me the same anymore. Like, I can't even bend down and tie my shoes. Like, my kids won't even play with me. Like, okay, now I'm not saying you do that to take advantage of people. I'm just saying that your
Right.
ability to charge something is about solving a problem for people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this comes down to, who do you want to work with? Do you want to work with everyone? Well, then if you want to work with everyone, you're going to run out of time and you'd have to look at lower prices, right? But if you want to give a high level service, and by the way, money is just a tool. Jason, do you find a difference in the outcomes people get based on the amount that they pay you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody that opts in for the lower price point, very few actually have desirable outcomes at the end. And I try to tell them that because, a lot of that is the investment that they're making. The tool, the money, the financial investment directly correlates with their own personal investment in their process that it's going to take to reach their goal. I'm just delivering the service that's going to help show them how to get there. They still have to do all the work. And so when they pay more, they feel it more. And as a result, I'm invested more in them because I can't let them waste their time after they've invested, after they've proven that they're willing to invest that much in themselves.
Love it. Love
And
it.
I will, yeah, to answer Karen, I'll offer them a little bit more time on, in terms of phone calls or whatever. Like I might give them a thing. Sometimes it's kind of like a template of, common misconceptions about your training program, about what to expect, what not to. Like I'll throw in some extra things, but I'm not promoting that to sell it.
Mm, mm, mm. I love it, right? It's, what is it going to take for them to get the result that they want,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think for whatever reason, we tend to just go with more time is what they need. That's just what we do as physical therapists. Like my time is what you need more of. I don't know that that's always the case, right? Maybe it's more resources. Maybe it's simpler things. Like, anyways, I just want to say, Jason, this has been amazing. This has been rock solid from my point of view. This has been absolutely, guys, can we give Jason some love? Like if you found this valuable, will you please put valuable and what's one thing that you learned from this training? So I want you to be active. I want you to be engaged so that way you can remember this better. What is one thing that you learned from this training? I know Andrew's on here, Cindy, Cynthia, Jeremy, Karen, Shanahan, Cheryl are still on here. What is one thing that you're taking away from this training today? Karen says, do it. Absolutely, we should do it. Cheryl says, thank you, Jason. What is one thing that you've learned from here? I know Spielberg going to try to run away before commenting, so I'm going to try to catch you before you do this. Cheryl says, I need to reach out to my inner circle and tell them what I'm doing. Yes. Cynthia, thanks, Jason. Value info and leveraging technology. Andrew, packaging, pricing of plans. Jeremy, start a conversation. I love it. I love it. Jason, any last words? If people want to learn more from you, find a way to talk, what's the best way for them to reach out to you? We'll wrap this up podcast interview style.
Yeah, absolutely. So since a lot of this is getting broadcast out through Facebook groups anyway, go ahead and add me on Facebook, send me a message there. So you can follow me on my profile. A lot of similar stuff that I do also on my Instagram. I'm at Wright Fit Physio. It's my last name, Wright Fit, and then physio, it's all one word. So you can follow me there. Reach out with any questions that you might have. Again, if it's going to be something that's going to take a little bit more in-depth details to your specific situation, again, we've got a program for that. We've got a course. We kind of take everybody through it with the basics of how Trainerize works, how to kind of get your mindset in the right place to where you're not still hung up on all the technical aspects of, my license, or I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. Well, then you're afraid of making money. Because if you set it up the right way, then somebody else is going to do it first. So, and your situation is not going to change. So we go a lot of mindset. We go a lot into the basics of Trainerize, how it works, how to use it, kind of like a step-by-step tutorial, how to set it up. And then there's a sales module that we go through. And then there's the fourth week is how to lead up to a launch and launch your product. To get people into your world, and then that way you can potentially have a sale on the back end to get them into your world more consistently. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, again, type in interested. Let us know that that's something you'd be interested in. You need more in-depth help with. We'd be glad to try and talk about maybe relaunching that course as a way to try and help more people during this time of, there's just a lot of stuff that's had to change. And so, be glad to help that way with that online fitness coaching for PTs course, and OTs. It's good for them too. So
yeah,
whomever.
I love it too. And if you guys are really interested and you don't feel confident in your skills, it's a great place to have a Facebook group where you can post like, how should I be programming for someone? So maybe you don't feel as confident as you like to. You get access to people who can help you with programming, and they nerd out on that stuff. Like that's what they love to do, is program and build programs. So I think that's awesome. Guys, thank you everyone who attended live, who's on here. Jason, thank you so much. Just you want to say thank you so much for taking time to do this.
No, thank you, man. It's again, I'm humbled at the opportunity to be considered to be able to have a source of knowledge for these people, and for everybody else that's been in the same boat I've been in before. So whatever I can do to help.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this masterclass from Jason. If you're watching Digital Income School, hopefully you've already got a decent part of like your value just from this right now. Like we haven't even started the program. It doesn't even start till next Thursday. And you already get to hear somebody walk through how they are making money doing digital fitness programming. If you're in my marketing and advertising mafia, follow Jason's footsteps. Go start implementing this into your business. If you're launch code and this is something that you can do, add this to your repertoire of skills. This will be in the membership site for all of them. So whichever program you're in, this will be chopped up. It'll be in there by tomorrow. And I will catch you guys later in whatever program you're in. This is super cool that we can like cross do all this and hit it at once. And we'll catch you guys later. Jason, have an awesome rest of your day, brother.
Yep. Thanks, you too.
Bye, guys.